You will fall.
Okay.
Oh.
So, the idea of writing an essay. I'll have to cut it because of you. The idea of writing an essay in. And I have to cut it too. So, the idea of writing an essay in Cambridge exams is that you have to be not neutral, but you should stick to some subject, you should stick to some topic. And a good example would be a typical task given to you by the exam paper. For example, talk about it's a problem. So, talk about ecological problems and environmental protection. The task would very often look like this. You and your teacher in the class had a discussion about environmental problems in your city. And you have to write an essay covering 3 points. And here begins the stuff you totally have to learn, you have to understand and have to remember if you want to write a good essay. The task will look like this. You should cover 3 topics, like transport, then rivers and seas, and the last but not the least, this is where a lot of people lose points, your personal idea. Oh, that's one of the greatest difference between Russian state exam writing and English state exam writing. In Russian state exam writing, you are required to demonstrate 2 sides of the same coin, giving arguments for like positive aspects and negative aspects. Usually more positive than negative. They also check for that. And in the conclusion, there should be your personal opinion. But in FCE writing, for example, your personal idea should not be it should not be your attitude to the problem. It should not be critical or supportive. It should be, as it says, your personal example, your personal idea. So, again, going back to the task, your teacher and your class had a discussion about environmental problems. And then you read the task. Write an essay, include 3 points given. This, and this. And that's all. You only have the word limit, which is quite often from 120 or 140 up to 200 words.
It's okay to write.
Sorry?
It's okay to write 100?
Well, you should read the word limit. They will give you more information. But okay, it's really important. So still, some may think, oh my god, I have to write about 200 words. What should I do? What should I do? Don't forget that essay is not like reading between lines in literature lessons. Essay is not your deepest fears and secrets that you have to put on paper. No, essay is exactly what it means. General ideas pushed into some words and with addition of your personal idea. So, let's take an example of writing a good essay on this task. At first, you have to begin somehow. How do you think you should begin an essay?
With some phrase.
Okay, you should open with a good opener. So, a good opener... good opener is not hello. And not hi guys.
Dear friends.
So, since we are talking about the opener, what will be the style, the register? Should it be very formal?
No, it's not.
Informal.
You should,
not
you should not forget that people who usually read essays are, as the task says, your teacher. So, of course, you shouldn't say, "Hi, dude, what's up?" But also, you should not be, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." You must be in between. So, what does it mean? It means that you shouldn't use short forms, and phrasal verbs are also banned. Like, you shouldn't do that. Only maybe once and with great care, but I don't recommend you doing that. Long forms and good expressions. So instead of "get up" in the morning, wake up, because this is not a phrasal verb, this is a normal action. Or instead of get over a problem, solve a problem, or to leave past the problem if it's an emotional thing. So, keeping this style, a good opener would be something that everybody knows. Like what? How would you begin talking about environmental problems? Everybody hates talking about that.
I'd like to start with
Statistics show. People believe. People believe. Statistics show. It's not a secret. It's everyone's knowledge. So you should have a collection of such phrases for every situation. You should probably go with statistics show, or researchers all agree that, and then you should, in the opener, you should point what the problem is. We are talking about environmental protection. So here you should again state the problem. It should be good for you at this point to already have, like, what am I going to write about? Probably great advice is to sit with a very clear face like this and think, what words about environment do I remember? I have 2 points given. So let me collect all words that can come to my head as soon as I see this. So transport, pollution, exhaust, toxic fumes, cars,
ships.
Yeah, okay, everything, forms of transport, problems that transport creates, accidents. What, Anthony?
5-year-old baby.
5-year-old babies. Okay.
Of course.
So everything will be helpful. Just you should have a cloud of words. You can even write them on a draft. Like, what problems am I going to quickly cover? Like horses, animals, people, depression, fumes, and accidents. So you already have a plan for that. Okay, and all these words could be useful for you to start talking about this. So in second and third paragraphs, you do exactly what you are asked. You cover the topics. At this point, it's very easy to get lost in your own thoughts. Don't forget, essay is not a research. It's not a review of a book or a film. You should not analyze things. Write things that everyone knows. Write, yes, commercial airplanes are the biggest source of pollution.
No.
You can write it still. You shouldn't be correct 100%.
Okay.
Or write like oil spills kill billions of fish and penguins every year. Who's gonna check it? No. So, you cover the topics with examples that you know. If you are required to talk about transport, talk about transport. Say that cars are bad, but not like this, of course. This is 7-year-old child's level. Say why. Like, exhaust fumes stay in our lungs, causing diseases in the future. Here you should really show that, yeah, transport, guys, it's really bad.
Same person who drives the car.
Says the person who drives the car, yeah. Okay, then you go for rivers and seas. Obviously, ships are not as polluting as land transport. So probably you can disagree. You can do it in a different way. here you should probably say, how does it affect rivers and seas? Again, a cloud of words, like poor birds covered in oil that can't swim, or penguins eating plastic and dying. Those are all good examples. Again, you shouldn't be very original here. Essay is a collection of things. Remember, the task tells you that you have already had a discussion. So I don't think you have discussed really complicated scientific research of plastic inside penguins. Probably you were talking about general things, so write general things. Your creativity is not checked in the official criteria. So that's what you do in second, third paragraph. It's easy to say that transport is bad and poor river and sea creatures are suffering. Okay, so you did this, you opened, you state the problem, stated, you covered the two topics, then, oh my god, you have your own idea. And here a lot of people lose points because you must be able to give this message from start till the end.
You must be disabled.
Okay, we're talking about environment. What do you think is a good personal idea? That would be easy to uncover, to explain.
Like how to solve?
There is a good chance you will not finish it correctly. Take something easier, something you are more confident.
Rubbish.
Rubbish where?
On the
In the forest. In the forest, anything, you see? That's easy to talk about. Because your personal idea is not how to solve the problem. This is just another example. Read the task carefully. Say that there is a lot of trash on the streets of your city. Say that it's next to impossible to walk around in spring because of all artifacts from last year that are under the snow. Last point is not how you're going to solve it. If you write a perfectly good essay and here you start offering ideas how to solve this, you will lose points in content and communicative achievement because you did not say what they wanted you to say. This is just your example, something from your level, like dog owners. They don't clean after their pets. That could also be a problem. Trash on the streets. Lots of factories in your area, even if it's not true. You live in an oil region. Say that we take stuff from the ground and emptiness one day will collapse. Show that you know something from your experience, and it will be great.
That's like create one more topic.
One more topic, but from your life. Like, I don't think you are a nuclear physicist. It should be something that you see. Okay, let's say you have covered transport, rivers and seas, and you also your personal idea. Personal idea. Yeah, the fifth or the fourth paragraph, if you decided not to split these two, because maybe you are very clever, I recommend you using like 5 paragraphs. So last is a conclusion. Okay, I can't write it like this. Conclusion. What should be in the conclusion? What do you think?
Our Earth is polluted.
Somewhere on.
Okay,
No,
we will
you
die.
the opener, but
again, it's not your opinion. Like the opener, just leave it back.
in the different words.
In reverse, yes. So here you demonstrated the problem. Here you should point that it's important to act. You should act somehow. How can you act? What can you write here to show how? Sit at home.
And do not produce rubbish.
This is like a conclusion, a logical conclusion that comes. Like people must be responsible and control their pollution. If you talk about like gases and toxic fumes from engines and cars, say in the end that people should be more responsible about using cars and vehicles and transport, or in the future there will be no air at all. That would be a good closer. You see, you shouldn't be very original in the essay. You should be very logical. If you start talking about environmental problems, do it through the whole essay. Don't drift back. You have 5 topics to cover. Make a short plan. Like your plan is probably going to look like this. And maybe a cloud of words in your head. 5 paragraphs maximum. And don't go away from the topic. Think about this as a summary of what you have heard. You and your class were talking about that, and someone was making notes. Note 1, 2, and you forgot. So you have to improvise, because the teacher asked you to write the summary. This is a summary, general ideas. You should use your English to talk about them, not be very creative. So, following this is a great idea to write the top essay.